Right, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce to you our first speaker, Mr. Frank Nicol. He's a mountain of a man, but also he's got mountain of knowledge. He's a well-versed person. He's been in the industry for over 40 years. And as I said earlier, also our ARA leader, our chairperson. Sir, you are so very welcome. The floor is all yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm unfortunately sitting down because I've been through a bad back operation. So standing is just not going to work for me. What I'm about to say is going to be very contradictory to everything that's taking place in the market today. There's a new acronym on the block called EV. Everybody's going EV. My question is, what happens to us? We're all going EV, or we're all going to close our shops. We're all going to open up an electric motor repair shop. Not going to happen. Right, my name is Frank Nicol. I'm the owner of Elmo Engineering, which has now been taken over by the kids. I get paid a horrible little salary to be there. I've been in the motor trade since 1974, worked for BMW, first for Fiat, and then I stepped up to BMW and then to Mercedes-Benz in the 70s. I'm an automotive engineer. And I'm also one of the spokespersons for ERA and now ARA under the umbrella of the RMI. I'm the president of the World Engine Reconditioning Council, which is a platform that has been established, and Duelis stole the thunder of my speech. Duelis said everything that we stand for. We're a platform so that the world becomes a smaller place. We can share knowledge, we can share technical data, we can find places to buy machines, we can find suppliers. So the World Engine Reconditioning Council is a force to be reckoned with. That is something that everybody in this room wants to be part of, but believe me, and it is going places. Watch this space. In my work, I'm also an assessor, facilitator, and a moderator. So in other words, I do training because the experience of it, I see there's a lot of gray-haired people here, a lot of people without hair. That knowledge is being lost. There's nobody in between. We've got the under 30s, we've got the over 60s. There's such a huge void that something's going to have to be done very, very quickly. The presentation that I'm going to show you guys now, and ladies, is what I see. It's only what I see, but it's so contradictory because I'll first take you down the path of where we're going, and then maybe with a shock back to reality. Let's give it a go. Tomorrow, and this is a message that was sent around a few months ago via WhatsApp. I based it on that. I thought it very appropriate. And all credit must go to technibble.com. They came up with all the fancy ideas. Then I elaborated on everything. Welcome to tomorrow. It actually arrived a few years ago. And here's some very interesting predictions. They say, auto repair shops will disappear. A petrol or a diesel engine has 2,000 odd individual parts. The electric motor has 20. Electric motors are sold with a lifetime guarantee. Internal combustion engines not. And it probably takes only 10 minutes to remove an electric motor and replace it with a new one. Faulty electric motors are not repaired in the dealership, but they're sent to the regional repair shops and they repair them with robots. Your electric motor malfunction light comes on, so you drive up to what looks like a car wash. Your car is towed through while you have a cup of coffee. And out comes your car with a new electric motor. That means petrol pumps will go away. Street corners will have meters that dispense electricity. And in fact, in the developed world, they've already started that. Smart auto manufacturers have already designated money to start building new plants that build electric cars only. That means coal industries will go away, gas and oil companies will go away, drilling for oil will stop. So say goodbye to an entire industry. The Middle East is in trouble. Can you imagine what will happen in the Middle East? What will happen to Qatar and to Saudi and to Dubai? Homes will produce and store electrical energy during the day. Then what is not used will be sold back to the grid to be used later on by factories, etc. Has anybody seen the Tesla roof? That's called a Tesla roof. A baby of today will only see personal cars in museums. The future is approaching much faster than we can handle. In 1998, Kodak had 170,000 employees and sold 85% of all photo paper worldwide. Within just a few years, the business model disappeared and they went bankrupt. Who would ever thought that could happen? What happened to Kodak and Polaroid will happen to a lot of other industries in the next 5 to 10 years. And most of us don't see it coming. Did you think in 1998 that 3 years later you would never take pictures with a film again? With today's smartphones, who even owns a camera? Yet digital cameras were invented in 1975. The first ones only had 10,000 pixels, but followed Moore's law and developed into what we have today. It will now happen again, but much faster, because we have artificial intelligence, health, autonomous and electric cars, education, 3D printing, agriculture, and jobs. Forget about the book called Future Shock. Welcome to the fourth industrial revolution. Software is disrupted and will continue to disrupt most traditional industries in the next 5 to 10 years. Uber is just a software tool. They don't even own cars. And they're the biggest taxi company in the world. Ask any taxi driver if he saw that coming. Airbnb, the biggest hotel company in the world, and they don't own properties. Ask the Hilton if they saw that coming. Artificial intelligence. Computers became exponentially better in understanding the world. This year, a computer beat the best Go player in the world 10 years earlier than expected. In the USA, young lawyers already, this is an awesome one. In the USA, young lawyers already don't get jobs because of IBM's Watson. You can get legal advice, so far only the basic stuff, within seconds, with 90% accuracy compared with 70% accuracy when done by humans. So if you study law, stop. There will be 90% fewer lawyers in the future. Can you imagine that? 90% fewer lawyers. Only specialists will remain. Interesting part, Watson already helps nurses diagnose cancer. And it is 4 times more accurate than human nurses. Facebook now has a pattern recognition software that can recognize faces better than humans. In the year 2030, computers will become more intelligent than humans. Scary. Autonomous cars. In 2018, the first self-driving cars were already here. In the next 2 years, the entire industry will start to be disrupted. You won't want to own a car anymore, as you will call a car with your phone. It will show up at your location and drive you to your destination. You will not need to park it, and you will only pay for the driven distance and can be productive while driving. The very young children of today will never get a driver's license because they will never own a car. This will change our cities because we will need 90 to 95% fewer cars. We can transform former parking spaces into green parks. About 1.2 million people die in car accidents each year, worldwide, including distracted and drunk driving. We now have one accident every 60,000 miles. With autonomous driving, that will drop to one accident in 6 million miles. That will save a million lives plus worldwide each year. For those of you that are visitors to this country, in South Africa over December 2018, January 2019, we call it the festive holidays, 1,612 people died in car accidents. Most traditional car companies will doubtless become bankrupt. Automobile manufacturers will try the evolutionary approach and build a better car, while high-tech companies like Tesla, Google, and Apple will do the revolutionary approach and build a computer on wheels. Look at what Volvo is doing right now. No more internal combustion engines in their vehicles starting this year, and they use only electric or hybrid with the intent of phasing out hybrid models. Many engineers from Volkswagen and Audi are completely terrified of Tesla, and they should be. Insurance companies will have massive trouble because without accidents, the cost will become cheaper. The auto insurance business model will disappear. Real estate will change because if you work while you commute, people will abandon their towers to move away to more beautiful and affordable neighborhoods. Electric cars will become mainstream in about the year 2030. Cities will be less noisy because all new cars will run on electricity. Cities will have much cleaner air as well. Electricity will become incredibly cheap and clean. Solar production has been on an exponential curve for about 30 years. But now you can see the long-term impact, and it's just getting started. Fossil energy companies are desperately trying to limit access to the grid to prevent competition from home solar installations. But that can simply not continue. Then we have health. The Tricorder X prize will be announced this year. There are companies who build a medical device called the Tricorder X from the movie Star Trek that works with your phone, which takes your retina scan, your blood sample, and you breathe into it. And it then analyzes 54 biomarkers that will identify nearly any disease. There are dozens of phone apps out there right now for health purposes. Welcome to tomorrow. It actually arrived a few years ago. But what about today? Let us wake up to the 21st century challenges instead of strangling ourselves with narrow-minded thinking and creating too many roadblocks in the mind. Wake up. This would all work in a perfect world. When auto repair shops disappear, approximately 175,000 businesses in the United States are titled as mechanical automotive repair shops. There are nearly 1.5 million mechanic jobs in the US, which is about 8.5 people per workshop. And these stats are important. In South Africa, we have approximately 1,000 aftermarket machine shops. I'm talking about automotive machinery. Machine shops with probably half of them non-graded, non-registered workshops. And unfortunately, a large portion thereof delivering substandard work. Now, South Africa has approximately 12.5 million registered vehicles on the roads. That's excluding stationary, underground earth moving. If the 1,000 workshops only recondition 200 engines per year, they will still be in business for the next 62 years. If they only do each engine once. Right? So, if this does not happen, what will happen to these people? Long live the machine shop, long live the apprentice, and long live training. Is this the end? The Abu Dhabi National Oil Company is the state-owned oil company of the United Arab Emirates. According to the Oil and Gas Journal as of 2015, the UAE holds the seventh largest proven reserves of oil in the world at 97.8 billion barrels. Most of these are located in Abu Dhabi. Revenue, $60 billion US. They employ 55,000 people. Petro SA is a company that was founded in 1965. Petro SA, the Petroleum Oil and Gas Corporation of South Africa, is the national oil company of South Africa. Its main activities are the extraction of natural gas from offshore fields about 90 kilometers from Mossel Bay. Some of you traveled past Mossel Bay. In 2017, they employed 1,600 people. Where will these people go? Long live the machine shop, long live the apprentice, and long live training. Petrol pumps will not go away. South Africa has approximately 4,600 filling stations with an average of 20 employees per station. That gives you 92,000 people. Africa is coal dependent for electricity and is currently under pressure to supply other countries with electricity. That's excluding what would be needed for electric cars. More than 70% of South Africa's energy needs are derived from coal. 92% of coal consumed on the African continent is produced in South Africa. South Africa is one of the 7 largest coal producing and one of the top 5 coal exporting countries in the world. Coal is South Africa's 3rd largest source of foreign exchange. 35% of liquid fuel, and this is more for the international people, 35% of liquid fuel used in South Africa is derived from sasol. Sasol is the form of extraction fuel from coal. The coal fields in South Africa employs 87,000 people. What are we going to do? Where are these people going to find work? Long live the machine shop. Long live the apprentice, and long live training. Diversify, adapt, and innovate. In order for the industry to survive, we should diversify, adapt, and innovate. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Some of the biggest mistakes made by American automotive manufacturers include, and this is a couple of words from a gentleman called John Stock. I think the biggest mistake was for the American car makers to think that the Japanese were not a threat to their dominance. American car makers looked at the Japanese as if the Americans would never buy their cars. So they continued producing products that weren't durable, rusting out in a short time, and not being reliable. By not giving the consumers what they wanted and needed, the American people decided to look for something else. The American consumers found the Japanese car makers to be very accommodating. The reliability kept getting better, the mileage was better than what Detroit was producing, the styling kept getting better. The Japanese listened to the American people and they gave the American people what they wanted. So Detroit found themselves playing catch up. They realized if they were going to survive, they had to give people a better product. actually start listening to what people wanted, not what they wanted to provide. Thus began the battle for the American people's business. And as most of you know, this ended up being very expensive lesson for Detroit and the American automotive manufacturers as a whole. And so came the Japanese auto manufacturers. Then we decided to go hydrogen. While hydrogen is cheaper than fuel and gasoline on paper, it is not cheaper as yet because of fuel cells. They then went to the Nicol rotary, and the Nicol rotary had a lot of drawbacks as a gasoline engine that was more effective on hydrogen, but the cost of the fuel cells made them abandon this project. Would this be a good example of old meets new? Diversify, adapt, and innovate. Long live the machine shop, long live the apprentice, and long live training. So then we get to gas power. Heavy-duty liquefied natural gas LNG vehicles work much like gasoline-powered vehicles with a spark-ignited internal combustion engine. The natural gas is supercooled and stored in liquid form, usually in a tank on the side or back of the truck. Economically, there are two factors in play: the fuel cost and the purchase price of the vehicle. In terms of fuel cost, in all cases analyzed, CNG, compressed natural gas, is less expensive than competing fuels. Regards purchase price, a CNG vehicle costs on average €2,000 more than a diesel vehicle and 2,400 more than a petrol vehicle. But the cost from cradle to grave with regard to lithium and platinum recycling is much higher than recycling conventional internal combustion vehicles. Out with the old technology. Currently, all automotive workshops have gone green over the last 40 years. The automotive industry has been getting the most flack, but we've been going green for most of the time. Adapting with the new, we've taken 1970s technology, we've changed the clearances, we've changed the materials, we've changed the oil, we've changed the fuel, and made an engine that burns 50% cleaner than 40 or 50 years ago. So if we go gas, we go another 50% cleaner. With this in mind, the future is looking green in more ways than one. Here's to the next 60 years of the machine shop, bearing in mind that the world's gas reserves are estimated to last only another 250 years. Long live the machine shop, long live the apprentice, long live training, long live the industry. Thank you.
Mr. Nicol, just a token of our appreciation for this well-versed presentation and good news, of course. It's well received and obviously something that we can plow back into our businesses. Thank you for that.